start recording, and we are streaming.
We are. Are we live? You're live.
Well, it's streaming. Hang on, I'll double check.
Oh, you went live in 2 seconds.
As opposed to 3?
As opposed to like right now. 2 seconds in the future, I assume it means.
Twitch. Oh, of course it shows an advert, doesn't it?
What shows an advert?
When you go to the actual Twitch stream that everybody else watches, it shows an advert before you can actually see the stream.
I didn't see one. Oh, but you know what? I linked up my Amazon Prime account to my Twitch account.
Yeah.
So I don't see ad, but I do still see those videos that start playing audio right away on the front page.
Yes. And yes, we're live.
Polly was like, the link you sent about Twitch had a Zoom link in it. And I'm like, yes, because maybe you want to be on audio. She's probably thinking, no.
Well,
But maybe, I don't know. I think she's working on a project.
Well, let's see if anyone bit on with Twitter questions. Probably didn't have enough time, but nope. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'll ask you the impetus behind the FBX feature.
Oh, you're asking me what?
Yes, I'm asking you a question. As an IMVU staffer that was responsible for wrangling all the FBX stuff from the point of view
it
of...
wasn't my idea. I can't take credit for that
No,
idea.
but I mean, in terms of wrangling my involvement.
Why did we involve you, or why did we just...
FBX. What was the intent behind the FBX stuff?
It probably depends on who you ask. I don't know if we have like a clear defining, there's no like document somewhere that says we should have, well, maybe there is actually. I've never seen a document that says like this is why we should do it. But I was in favor of it because I feel like it makes it a lot easier for anybody to get their files into IMVU. Like, I didn't even realize how much easier it would be to import your 3D Studio Max files. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But just being able to import files, like the thing with Blender just seemed really confusing to me. Like the Cal 3D, like, do you need to install a plugin? I guess it depends what version you have. Like, it's very complicated, and the FBX is just so much easier. And I don't know, I mean, if people want to buy files somewhere, I think it makes it easier to import those files. Or, you know, I think the idea was just to make things easier and to make it easier to use free tools. I think that's the big thing. Like, we don't want to encourage software piracy or anything like that. We want to make it easy for people to use Blender and use other free tools like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the FBX stuff, and well, from the Blender's point of view, yes, it makes it much easier to bring stuff into IMVU, because particularly with complex projects, because with Cal 3D you have to kind of export all the parts separately to make sure that they export from Blender properly and import into IMVU properly. But with the FBX stuff, you can just select everything that you want exported, export it, and import it all job lot into IMVU, which is super convenient. And of course, the automated pre-assembly of the parts when they are imported. That's another important bit.
I don't even know how people put together a room with like 70 textures.
Well, it takes a long time.
Well, yeah. And I only just learned the other day that you can actually just name your files properly in a folder, and you actually can just update them by
You mean the
update.
images?
Yeah, the images, like if you have them saved with the right file name and you have them in the folder that IMVU Create expects to find them in, they will just automatically update when you update your file.
Oh, nice.
You didn't know that?
Hello.
No.
Hey, Holly.
Hi.
Hi. I didn't think you'd actually join the Zoom, honestly. So this is awesome.
You are live, Polly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Maybe I'll turn this off then.
Oh, what are you gonna turn off?
My audio.
Oh, so you don't get the echo.
Oh yeah. But
no,
we were
I turned off the audio on Twitch because I could hear Cat like talking twice. It was like out of sync.
Yes, yeah.
we were just talking about how if you have a file and you know where all the images are and you just change the images and they're in the right place where IMVU expects them to be, how you can update your file and create, and it will update all those images for you automatically.
That makes sense. I never thought of working like that, but yeah, that's a good idea.
I didn't know that either. I was like, can you guys make this work? And Robert was like, that already works. Sure. I mean, I thought like a big button that would be like, automatically update my files now, but it's really just that changes button at the top, apply changes.
So you are, let me just, so what you're talking about then, I'm just logging into IMVU.
Yeah, if you can prove that it doesn't work, that would be really
No,
fun.
I'm not, I'm just trying to clarify what it is that you are referring to. Oh, and it wants to update.
Yeah, like you have a projects folder when you're working on something.
Yes, yeah. Update later.
But you should update from the downloads page because that one is newer and it has more updates.
Oh, it's forcing me to update. It won't let me update later, so I guess I'll have to update now. So yeah, oh well, this is useful actually. This is useful for when people want to update the client, and this is what you have to do. It'll give you the little error that says that there's an update available. Click the button, and if it doesn't force you to update, then you just go through the process that's on screen. So you click the install button, and it'll do all the gubbins and the shenanigans that it does.
So you're not showing that on Twitch right now, though.
Yes, it is. It's live on Twitch.
I only see a box just sitting
Oh
there.
well, there'll be a however many 10 seconds delay. Not from what we are, because we're on Zoom, but there'll be a delay between the stream and what's seen via the stream.
Do you see it, Polly? On Twitch? Did she go mute?
Oh, hi, sorry. I just turned my audio off.
That's all right. I mean, just, press the mute button.
On the Twitch, I see you updating.
You do see the updating?
Yeah.
Why don't I see it?
Is it playing? Did you paused it?
I even saw like a chat from... Oh, did I pause it?
You might have paused it. No
Okay,
idea.
now I see. Why don't you show people how to go to the downloads page, though?
I will do that in a second once this has done that.
We're trying to push, that's what we want every creator to go, just go to the downloads page to update.
Well, it did say in the update box thingamajiggery doodle that there was an improved FBX import, whatchamacallit, jiggery doodah.
See, that's bad though, because that's telling people will think that's the latest one, like because they got that message. But there should be a newer build on the downloads page.
Right, so oh, slow computer. Right, so leave that open. You want move to a new window. So you want, so it's IMVU.com/downloads.
Downloads.php. I don't know if you need to type that whole bit in, but maybe.
You are forbidden.
Slide
Yeah.
part. Okay.
So it's downloads.php. The address downloads.php was not found. IMVU.com/. Is it download or downloads?
Hold on, let me it's download. Maybe I can copy and paste the link to you somewhere here. I don't know if that makes a difference. But that way you can get 534.2.
Right, hang on then. Move to a new window. Close that. Right, so this is on screen now, so you will eventually see this. Right, so yes, so further enhancements to FBX import functionality, improved support for 3D Studio Max, Maya, and SketchUp.
That's so exciting.
So that's Windows installer and Mac DMG installer. So just click either one of those depending on what platform you're using, and it'll download the file and then just follow the instructions on screen, and this will update to, if that wasn't the latest version, hang on, let me just no, I won't do that on screen because it'll go into my settings. Do that off screen. Oh right, okay, so the version that was just installed was 5.34.0. The version that's on the download page is 5.34.2, so that's a newer version, which has the FBX improvements.
Yeah.
Well, the 3D Studio Max, Maya, and SketchUp stuff should be interesting.
Yeah, are you going to try Maya now?
Well, no, I was going to say he says looking at Polly.
Oh.
I don't know what the status of the SketchUp stuff is.
Yeah, gosh, trying to remember all of the things about, what are the things about SketchUp?
Because it doesn't do skeletal animation at all, does it?
Yeah, and I think that I really think if you're making something in SketchUp, you probably should just bring it into something else first. and then export it, like do your stuff to it. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but everything's a separate mesh in there, right? So
I'm not quite sure how SketchUp works from that point of view.
it just seems very tough to.
It does have oh, I've got several versions of it. Which one's the which?
What versions? What?
No, I've got several versions of SketchUp installed, so I'm not quite sure which one's opening right now. SketchUp make.
I got an email today from Daz 3D about how some 3D modeling software is free on their site now or something. And it wasn't one that I'm familiar with. Now I don't remember the name of it. I think it starts with a D or something.
Daz 3D?
Well, yeah, Daz 3D, but I mean the software they were talking about. Let me see here. But anyway, it doesn't export FBX, but still, it's a free. What is it? Where is it? Oh, Hexagon. So it's H's and D's are kind of similar to me. So
Oh yes, Hexagon. That's an old piece of software that they purchased years ago.
well, I think they may have updated it a little.
Oh, here we go. Avatar scale reference. Yeah, the thing I found with trying to work with SketchUp in terms of setting up just basic furniture items was that it doesn't have nodes. It doesn't do the nodes thing as far as I could tell. I mean, we would need it's a shame we don't have a SketchUp person in stream to answer these questions. But it doesn't do nodes. But it does obey the general structural hierarchy of a node-based furniture item or node-based items. So in theory, so long as you've got that hierarchy set up and you export to FBX, it should in theory bring in a functional item. But
Yeah, I think Robert was able to make it translate into whatever phones or whatever. But if you don't name things perfectly, it's not.
Yeah, which is that. I mean, that would be fine because you're then getting into the realms of certain aspects of the scene being automatically converted or updated or changed or whatever it is. So as long as you've got some reference blocks, which are what the coloured cubes are. Those are what would be nodes in Max or Blender or whatever application supports them. And so long as you, sorry, go on.
Oh no, just Polly's texting. She's not talking anymore. Only texting.
No, that's a shame.
Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No, it's because that's actually Polly says it's about 400 years since I used SketchUp. I can't remember how nodes are done. I vaguely remember having to edit skeleton files in Notepad though.
Notepad.
Yeah, so that'll be what, the Cal 3D files. So what you're basically doing is opening the Cal 3D text files and changing the name and relationship of what are going to be the nodes, converting them manually into nodes by just giving them the proper reference.
Oh.
So if we were to export, let's say for the sake of argument, we could export this as Cal 3D, what you would end up with is a Cal3D mesh file with mesh references. So you then have to just rename the cubes to something that was relevant or relative to the nodes, and that should in theory work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the problem is just if people don't do it just right, it won't import properly.
Yeah.
But depending what you're making, and if you use the IMVU starter files, which I did upload, I uploaded all the starter files yesterday. I just have to make something that links to them.
Is that what, for all of them? So that's for Max, Maya, and SketchUp, and Blender?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we have all the starter files. Actually, maybe I can find that page.
Yeah.
I mean, the page is live right now, just nothing is linking to it. Let's see. Oh, wait, that's not right. No, wait. Let's see, my pages. Having fun with WordPress.
Yeah.
Except not really, though.
No.
Let's see. Starter files. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, I'll send you the link. You can share it. I don't care. It's going to go up later tonight anyway. I mean, the page, the link's in the other page that link to it.
Where's the, what did I do with it? Still there. Yes, so we've got the Blender files, version 02, 3D Studio Max, Maya, SketchUp. Excellent.
Yeah, if you see any errors, let me know. We were going to maybe have a QA person look at it, but this is just the wrong week to try to get things like that. Fancy things like QA people looking over your web page.
Yeah. No, well, that's creator.imvu.com/index.php and then /fbx-starter-files/.
Yep.
Or it should be, it's linkable from the main FBX creator page.
Yeah, I don't think...
Well, this probably isn't live, but...
Well, this page is live, but the main FBX page is not updated yet to show you that. So.
Right. So coming soon to a screen near you.
Yeah, and this page, it's not on the one you're looking at right now. So, but I think if you go, gosh, I'm going to be looking at these pages a lot more in the near future, but try to think if there's another page. But if you go to the main creator education or the main creator dashboard page, you can link to the FBX from there.
Yes, what's the IMVU for to create? Is it?
I didn't know I had to memorize all these URLs.
Neither did I.
It's imvu.com/creators/creator_dashboard.php.
Oh my word. My brain just froze.
Yeah, it's not creator.imvu.com. It's
creator.creators.php /.
But you need to get rid of that creator at the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, creators. No, it's creators /
Oh my God, this is
It's IMVU.com /creators /creator_dashboard.php. And now that I've said that, I'm just going to send you the link.
It's all right. It's just automatically popped up on the
Oh,
auto completed. Right.
that's what everyone should do anyway. That's what I usually do, is wait for the autocomplete.
Yeah. So the main FBX page is available from the creators.
On the right there.
Yeah.
See
Home.
it?
This is the creators homepage. So those that are not familiar with this is where, once you've signed up to the creator program, this is your dashboard with lots of shenanigans going on, and then on the right here you've got the FBX stuff, so just click on that and it'll take you to the main FBX thingamajiggery, where we've just got Blender at the moment, and this is what Jinx is saying that will be updated.
Aren't you going to try and explain what this URL is?
What, the FBX -import /
.com /index.php / maybe we could get a computer generated voice to read it out instead.
Yes, text to speech to text to speech.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got the exporting from Blender.
Oh, but this is updating though. It's updating.
Yeah, so this will be updated.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, wait, I have it here. It's gonna be exporting from Blender, then exporting from 3D Studio Max.
Yeah.
Then of course, if you're using Blender or SketchUp, you're on your own. And then, or I mean Maya or SketchUp, and then importing FBX, one page for that, and
yeah, so importing.
Files, so. And some release notes so that you can really see, you can get a better idea than you get on the download page of what exactly has been updated about it. So I think soon we're going to be dismantling what's left of the FBX team, and but that doesn't mean that no updates will happen. They just won't be worked on, every day anymore. So
yes, because you've got the core of it done. Essentially.
Yeah, but we have that space for release notes, so things will get updated, and then you can see what happened there.
Yeah,
and know what
the
update your client.
The FAQ, which will probably be similar to all of them, I guess. I mean, there'll be some.
Here, I'm gonna send you this link. This page is done anyway. What did you say? What?
I said nothing. I know nothing.
Anyway, yeah, you can look at the FBX release notes for 5.34.2.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this will be accessed from here.
From the page on before,
yeah.
FBX. Later today. I'd be working on it right now, but
well,
this is
yeah. Yes, it is. It is. Cool.
Oh, she's been swearing at Max. Well, Polly, as long as you're not crying, swearing is all right. No crying.
Oh, 3D Studio Max.
A lot of tears over. You know what? It's not just 3D Studio Max, though. It's like trying to import it into client and get it to work properly, especially if you're doing animations. And then you don't know what you did wrong, and you don't know if the error is in 3D Studio Max or is the error in the client.
Yeah.
You don't know. And then you try all these different things to try and make it work, and then finally it magically works, and you don't know what the heck you did to make it work. So next time you get to cry all over again.
Yep.
And that's why you should become a creator today.
Yep. What is it? Whatever makes you, what's that thing? Whatever's blab.
Doesn't kill you.
That's
stronger.
it. That's the one.
What I meant to say is that's why we're going to have more tutorials and revamp the creator site to be clear about things and figure out what bugs might exist to fix them. And so, you know, so people don't have to cry as much.
Well, that...
Or fear.
Yeah, that makes a change from the very early days, that's for sure.
British people swear too much anyway.
I don't know where you heard that.
In my experience.
I don't know where you heard that.
You don't think that's true?
Well, I mean, I suppose it depends where you are. You know,
in general, on average.
Walking past a builder's site, you'll certainly hear quite a lot of swearing.
I don't think it's a builder's thing. I think it's yeah, I guess it depends.
Yeah, so as Polly just said, if you think British people swear a lot, you should listen to Australians.
But Australians probably make it sound cute, like they make some diminutive form of the swear word or something. They shorten it up so you don't even know what it means.
What is it they say, that all Australians are related to Crocodile Dundee?
Oh, do they say that?
Yeah.
Is it true?
No.
I don't... Maybe it's true. Or how about that other crocodile guy?
Oh, Steve Irwin? Is it Irwin? Yes, Steve Irwin. Okay, I can't find... I did a... Okay, let me just... This is the other problem with all of these applications, is that they do things different. Oh, I think we just lost Jinx, so... Hang on. Technical difficulties. Jinx, if she can still hear us, should be able to just join. Skip. Okay. Well, whilst that's being sorted out, I think that is there's got to be a better way of zooming out in DAS. This is the only problem with IMVU stuff, is the scaling is so huge that if you bring anything into an application like Blender or DAS or something else, the scaling is absolutely colossal, so you'll spend 5 minutes trying to scale out, zoom out. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Jinxy, you're muted.
Okay, now you can
There we go.
maybe breathe or whatever. I wasn't even talking.
No, but that's all right. No, in relation to what we were just talking about, oh my goodness me. I don't use DAS.
You don't. Oh,
No.
yeah.
Oh yes, so there we go. Right, I thought I'd done something about this with this. So that, do you remember the wonky stool project that we did with some of the
Yeah.
IMVU staffers?
I thought it was an artisanal stool. Were
Well,
you lying?
Yeah, that's what I called it. Everybody else was saying it was wonky.
Wonky is a pretty British word, though. I don't know. Did we really say wonky?
Well, I think I might have said wonky at some point.
And we were like, yes, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
It's a wonky stool. That is the wonky stool in DAS. So DAS, so with the FBX stuff, it can obviously be imported into DAS using FBX. So if it can be imported, it should be possible to export it. The only difference is that, as with SketchUp, the nodes in DAS they're approximate to the way Blender behaves with the nodes, in the sense that they're just 3D points in space, and it gives you this.
But can you export as FBX?
You can.
Do they have that as an option?
Yes, they do.
It seems weird that their other one, what was it, her Hexagon or something?
Hexagon.
Would.
Yeah, so you've got FBX. So you've got FBX as an export option from DAS, but the caveat is you cannot export any content that came with DAS, as in the avatars, the clothing, and all the gubbings.
As in, technically you could, but legally.
Yeah, it's the old it's just the copyright thingy-majiggery again.
I saw, not on that one, but on something else on Carrara, I think.
Yeah.
They had a similar, but if you paid like $50 extra, you would have the right to export like all the stuffs, But I suppose if you buy something, everything's going to have a different license.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting, and to see how so many different licensing options. I've been looking at them for music lately, and it's interesting because reasons.
I forgot to do the stream info. Oh, it's got a virtual world community. I suppose that's yes. Oh, nice. Didn't see that before.
What? Didn't see what?
In the, what I mentioned before, that they don't have a game category for IMVU.
Yeah.
They do
Oh, you
have.
found a virtual.
There's a virtual worlds category that you can use, which there seems to be a subcategory of IMVU is in there.
Oh, do you think that's new?
I don't know. I've not noticed it before.
Oh. Can you move to it now?
Well, we're kind of in it now. Well, that's what the stream information is set up as.
Oh.
So anybody that wants to stream IMVU content can use the virtual worlds communities setting or option, and it'll all sit under there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So back to what we were talking, FBX. So yes, so you can get the thing into FBX into DAS. So it's possible to export it, but the nodes and as with SketchUp, DAS recognizes the hierarchy as well. I haven't played around with this for a while, but so it brings in all the bits relative to the hierarchy of the of a functional furniture item. So it should be possible to create stuff in DAS, and even if you create it DAS scaled, so it's, you know, your meshes are the default size relative to what DAS is expecting. With the FBX apply scale modifier, when you import the FBX, that should then mean that you can adjust the size on import. So in theory, we should be able to use DAS to make at least furniture items and rooms.
So here's a question. So
Yeah.
you can't export DAS's own content.
No.
So why would you want to use DAS instead of something else?
Well, it's for people that are familiar with the way that DAS works as a 3D app, because I think I've not used DAS enough to know how to use it to create unique content, but I understand that you can, because the well, it is a 3D app. It's just that they provide a lot of stuff that you can use to produce rendered images or whatever it is that you're doing, but apparently you can create unique content. So those that are familiar with DAS will be able to make content for IMVU, so long as they can export it out using the hierarchy. As long as they've got their items set up with the correct hierarchy, it should export to FBX.
We just need someone to test it.
Yes, I am a complete and utter novice when it comes to DAS. Less so with SketchUp, but the same principle should be applied to SketchUp, although there are, obviously with SketchUp Make, there are the implications there where they are much more stringent with the use of SketchUp to make content that is monetized. So you would have to purchase SketchUp.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should try to make something and export it. That will be fun for me to watch.
Well, that's partly what this scene is. This is the default furniture. Yes, it's the furniture starter file. So you've got your dummies.
But
See.
if you just export this, well, I guess that would be useful too.
Well, let me try it now. No, you can't export to FBX directly from this, can you? It's to...
But it was in the file menu.
No, you can export to either Carrara or KMZ from SketchUp Make. So you'd have to export to DAE, Carrara, and then you have to do some fiddling around to convert that.
I thought you were gonna try and make something in DAZ 3D and
No,
export that.
no. It's I don't
That
know.
would be really entertaining.
I'm sure it would.
You'd probably be disappointingly good at it.
Well, the issue with DAZ is that as you this is, let's do a comparison. This is Blender's grid, right? So if I bring in the wonky stool into this, and not the robot turkey,
Don't you like the robot turkey?
well, no, that's for another session. Let me just open the latest monkey stool. All right, so that's the stool relative to the grid in Blender set up for exporting to IMVU. So in Blender, you can set the scale of the grid to be much larger. So if by default it would be like that, so that's where the grid's gone. So DAZ's grid is almost exactly the same as Blender's. If you look at the grid in relation to the seat, which is the same stool, but the tools, you can probably hear me thumping the desk, that's the mouse. That's me trying to scale or zoom out of the scene to get the mouse, to get the chair big enough or small enough on screen for me to be able to see what I'm doing. So unless there's a way to, so you've got two options, and this is where the scaling settings that Code Rodent was talking about that you can adjust in Blender, which are not there. Where are they? No, that's it, yeah. So in Blender, you've got the option of just working per normal with your scene scale, the grid set to 100. And then when you export, you're exporting 1:1, and you're not doing much else. And then on import, you change the scale on import. But you can also set the unit scale. If you set the unit scale, that changes the relationship of all the objects relative to the default grid, which makes the grid appear much larger. So if I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's metric. And I think if you do 0.0 and 0.01, yeah. So doing that is the equivalent of changing the scale here to 100. If we had that option in DAZ, in theory, you could use DAZ without any issues because it would adjust. I don't know how to adjust the scale. So if somebody that uses DAZ knows this, you know, they can pass on the information.
Does it matter that it does the
Well,
scale
it's just
matter?
because it's clunky to. I mean, the
Yeah, it is.
rotates fine, and you know, and again, you see, it's the same with, because the scaling of IMVU is so large, it just makes it almost impractical for doing, for using anything that can't adjust the scale of the scene relative to the objects like you can in 3D Studio Max or Blender. So if you can do that in DAZ, it means that DAZ is theoretically usable as a tool to make content for IMVU. At least furniture and rooms.
Yeah. You know, we should tell people at DAZ 3D, come on over. Although, yeah. Well, yeah, we should.
Well, what was the other one you mentioned? Hexagon.
Yeah, Hexagon, but
and
that's the same. But they don't have Carrara.
And Carrara, yeah.
Carrara. I don't even know that Carrara had FBX.
Well, let's have a look.
But like you can export to into 3ds Max format, and I think to Maya format too. Maybe they figure that should be good enough. And like OBJ and all that good stuff.
Is Carrara still... So this was from the DAS people, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so there's DAS Studio, which is what's on screen at the moment. Genesis 8, which is their character.
So have you read anything that would be like a reason why you couldn't stream using IMVU on Twitch?
You can't stream on... Really?
No, I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying like somebody told me that you can't, but I
Okay.
don't have anything. I don't have any proof of that anywhere.
Well, I've just... we're now streaming some... Well, my IMVU JazzCat account. So what was I going to... Oh, yeah. So that's why I opened that up. So create mode. So getting all the way back to our original starting point of the conversation.
But they even have like they have a channel where you can eat with other people,
Yeah.
and then they have a channel or like a, is that what you call it? No,
I
it's like a whole
guess so.
section something, in a section where you can just stream your life live, like an in real life one section.
Oh, right.
So why would you not be able to stream IMVU? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No idea. Unless it's... well, no, I mean, even with the... you know, the content guidance, you know, PG-13... You know, and all that sort of stuff. It wouldn't be related to that.
Yeah.
Right, so, in relation to what you and Polly were saying earlier, so once you've imported your FBX and it's done all its magic and imported the file, you're saying that in the project folder, which is the icon at the top above the 3D view, there's the folder icon which opens the... Ooh.
Yeah. Opens your chicken
Yeah.
file, asset files.
And it's crashed. No, it hasn't. So what you're saying is that if you drop the images into the project folder, so long as they are named exactly the same as the originals, it'll just overwrite, because it'll just pull them in as if they were the original images.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's always,
feel like-
hasn't it always been, it's always been able to do that, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But I never knew that. I'm just saying I never knew that.
Oh,
like I don't
right.
know if I mean, like, did you know that? Do you use that? I mean,
Yeah, well, yes, because
like surprised by it, right? Like, of course, if you're meshers, it might not be as useful.
no, it is. Used to use the project folder a lot when I was working with the Cal3D stuff, because you could never quite tell whether something's imported or not properly. So you would import the Cal3D file, open the project folder, and then it would be these files, the XSS XF, XMF, and XRF files that you would actually check to make sure that all the bits had come in properly.
But you weren't using the
Wasn't
the
necessarily,
sticky-
yeah, wasn't necessarily using the image overwriting thing.
Well, I think it would be a really good tutorial to show people how they can update the images for something. It would be a great tutorial for texture artists.
Well, when we get to the point of finishing the Dutch hat box, the hat box of Babel Tower, we can probably do it then.
I want the hat boxes to be wonky, like they're gonna fall over.
Well, we can do that once we've got the basic thing sorted out, the basic structure of it and the elements. Then you can edit the parts.
Yeah, but if we had a tutorial for that, I feel like we could point to that in like our first newsletter.
Yes.
And that would be a nice first thing to have in it.
Yes. Yes, so I don't have your hat box. You have your hat box, so you'd have to open it your side, and then we'd stream your desktop.
Oh, you're saying we would use the hat box to do that tutorial?
Yeah, we'd have to.
Oh, I could send you the hat box file.
No, it's it would be better on your screen.
Why?
Just because it's yours and you made it.
Oh, why do I have all these? That's weird. Sorry, I have some weird messages that I don't understand why.
Gobbledygook.
No, just like well, in Slack, there's like a weird group of people.
All right.
Like
Say no more.
weird...
Yeah, say no more.
You're like, no, really, don't say anymore.
Yeah, don't.
I knew you were gonna say something
that might be why IMVU can't be streamed on Twitch.
Yeah, that's the real reason why. It's not like it can't be, just like you shouldn't let employees be
Yeah.
there. Okay, I can open the wait, okay, let me think. We only have 30 minutes.
No, well, we can't do it now because we haven't got far enough into the project to be able to export it and do that with.
Okay, then I won't worry about it right now.
No.
Okay. We could do it with the turkey though. I feel like the turkey would be good. I mean, it has a lot more interesting, like the hat box is designed to really only have probably 2 textures, like just the box.
Yes, yeah.
That's boring. The turkey could have like 8 textures.
Yeah, so the wonky turkey. The robot turkey.
The
Yes,
wonky robot turkey.
the wonky robot turkey, yeah. Could give it a wooden leg.
Yes, very much like the robo chicken.
Yeah. No, it's so depending on how you'd want to set this up. I mean, you could texture the entire thing with a single 256 by 512, and then depending on how you use the space, or you can just individual textures for the individual components. It's not as efficient, but you do get a slight quality increase in terms of the size and resolution of the images as they appear on the object. But that does then mean you're increasing the file size of the product in IMVU.
I think I would make the body be 1 texture, the tail be 1 texture, and then I'd put like the face, the wings in 1 texture. I think I put the feet on the same texture as the tail.
Yeah.
feet and tail together, wings and face together, and the body as one separate.
Yes. Yeah, you could
Maybe put
probably get the head and the body, because they're both cubes. You could probably use the same image for those. The actual head cube itself.
oh yeah, as opposed to like the eyes or something.
Yes, so you would, relative to the size, so you would have the tail on one, you'd have the head cube and the body cube on another, and then you could probably put all the bits, so the wings, the beak, eyes and feet on another, so you're using, and the rivets, so you're using 3 images for the
That's
turkey.
I just would put the feet with the tail. Well, I don't know. I just think the tail is going to have some empty space on it. That's all I was thinking.
Yes, because of its shape. But that's what you find out when you unwrap. You know, you determine the placement of all the bits as you are unwrapping, because you are restricted to. Well, for IMVU in particular, you're restricted to a maximum of 512 in any one direction. So you can't do a 512 by 512 where you could then maybe quarter the texture and put each element in each quarter. So you'd have to do a little bit of thinking in terms of how you would want the UV maps to appear on the image and how many images you use.
Yeah. Worky stuff, getting like worky.
That's all right.
things. Gosh, is this one? Oh no, but this one is shoot.
So if anybody that watches this later knows anything about DAS, try this out. Use the starter files and see if you can import those into DAS, and then see if you can export them to FBX and get that into IMVU reasonably well.
Who uses it? I don't know.
Well, over the years there's been quite a lot of, IMVU using questions about IMVU using DAS in the forums, but nobody really has been able to do anything with it because obviously you couldn't.
Right. Well.
But with FBX,
Yeah. Wait. Why couldn't you before?
Cal 3D. There was no Cal 3D exporter for DAS.
Oh, yeah. But you could export. You could just export as like an OBJ and then
Yeah,
bring it.
it's a lot of work to do it that way. But yes, in theory, you could export everything as if your 3D app supported object export, you could do that. But that then meant having to use another 3D application to sort out the file, which is obviously, if somebody's using X application and then they have to learn something else to be compatible, they might as well just use the something else instead of the one that they were using.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends. I mean, you may have, just like the way you were saying that people will bring things into Blender just to texture them.
Yes.
And then export them. I mean, maybe it's kind of like that.
Yes.
There might be something that DAS 3D does really well.
Well, this speaks to what Polly was surprised about, that people are using Blender to UV map their 3D Studio Max files.
Yeah, we need a lesson in that. We need to get Polly to like give us something that she hasn't mapped yet, and you can show her how to map it in Blender or something.
Yeah, simple chair or anything, yeah.
Or something complicated, who knows? Because really, isn't that what's going to show you?
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be a complicated object to show the principles of, of unwrapping. But anything will do.
Yeah, but I mean to show that it's, to like really show how it's better.
Well, yes. I mean, if you wanted to do something complex, that's not a problem at all. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Wait, who are you hinting? Oh, Polly Smells.
Yeah.
Yes, please do some complicated mapping for me. Not just a chair. She's going to make like ocean waves or something. Tower of Babel.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to really see how you can use it, then yes, you'd have to do a complicated object. But in terms of just showing the principles, something simple's fine. Plus, of course, UV mapping complicated objects isn't necessarily a quick process.
Yeah, that seems unfair.
What does?
Just things being like really hard to map. Like you feel like, yes, I made something. Yes. Woo. And then
You have to do the UV mapping, yeah.
wait, is this even the same? These are not the same. That's why I want you to do it for me. I think you should tell Polly that you will map some stuff for her if she does a tutorial on this.
On the FBX stuff?
Yeah, like she can do the 3D Studio Max version of what you're doing with Blender stuff.
Yes. That
You'd
is
be like, okay, Polly, whatever you make, then I will map it for you.
Yeah.
Whatever you live on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think ha 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 ha, isn't that yes in Australian?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
It may even be a signature on a contract.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Especially if your name is Polly Smells.
Yep. Oh, Poser. That's the other one that... Yeah, that's the other one that people ask about with making clothing for IMVU is using Poser and poses. So that would be another one to test using the FBX import tool now.
Oh, wait. So you might be able to use... Wait, you might be able to use Poser and then get those files into...
Maybe. I doubt... I mean, because people have generally asked whether Poser can be used for clothing and poses, obviously hence the name Poser. But I doubt poses will be possible because of the peculiarities of 3D Studio Max and the Character Studio armature rig thing that it uses. But in theory, Again, if you can import the starter files so that you have an avatar as a basis to work with, it should in theory be possible to make clothing over the top of the imported avatar base unit, which would be the same as what's the other one? Marvellous Designer. Is it Marvellous Designer? The clothing thing.
Yes.
It should be the same with that. If so long as you can import the IMVU starter files, and there is an FBX exporter or the ability to get something out into a format that you can bring into something else if necessary, it should be possible to make content using all these different applications. Because really the only issue is trying to match up what you're making with the avatars. So if you have an avatar dummy, it should be possible to do anything.
So how do we get an avatar dummy?
Well, that's what the well, I don't know if it's included in the starter files, but that's partly what I included with the Blender stuff, at least. Anyway, let me see if I can find it. What you'd want is that if you can get that imported as an FBX or a DAE or something, if you can...
The turkey?
No, not the turkey. Well, not yet. You should be seeing it now.
Oh, there, okay.
Yeah, the female avatar. If you can get that into Marvellous Designer, DAZ, whatever it is, whatever application you're using, you can then should be able to build over this as the basis of your whatever it is that you're making, whether it's an accessory or...
Which would be easy to get in as like an OBJ or something.
It should be. I mean, it should be possible to do, particularly now because of the FBX stuff, but sometimes when you bring in object files, they are stripped of any material or texture information. So it's just raw mesh stuff. So if you can import the fully textured... I mean, you might even be able to do it with the... the clothing. This is the Blender version, obviously, but you should be able to do it with the rigged version of the avatar. It should bring in the rig, but it may not necessarily be functional. But that then at least gives you the opportunity to be able to use this as the basis for something over which you can, you know, whether it's an accessory or whatever it is that you're making.
Yeah. Is it my nap time yet?
It may be shortly. Well, we've probably got another 10 minutes.
I'm not complaining. I'm complaining, but not in a
Complainy way.
Like in a 35% serious way.
Yeah. We are mildly amused.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yes. Ooh, I'll show you this. Wait until it updates on your screen.
Wait. Oh.
people have been asking about couples poses.
Oh,
So-
in Blender?
In Blender. Well, not just in Blender, but couples poses, generally speaking, for all the other stuff that's been going on with the FBX thing. So this is, I'm still working on this, but this is a preview of the couples pose file for Blender.
Do you have anything new to link to on the IMVU playlist on YouTube? I should specify.
No, what? Huh?
Well, there's that whole playlist of stuff, the FBX stuff that.
Not yet. No. No, I'm still working on the noobs. NEWBS noobs tutorial. I'm just working, putting the HTML together for that with the images. Not the images, the movies dropped in. So the PDF is available, but the movies have to be done separately. Otherwise, the PDF is absolutely huge. It's half a gigabyte.
I noticed that Hexagon, I think it was the Hexagon one. Was it the Hexagon? Oh, maybe it was Carrara. But one of those two had like export to Second Life format.
Yes, yeah. So that'll be because they moved away from prims, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. Like I never really got into Second Life because I thought, well, for various reasons, like I couldn't make my avatar be not ugly, and I just didn't have time with there and IMVU. But also I thought, why would I spend all my time on Second Life when they don't use like professional tools? Like.
Yes. Well, yes, because originally I think it was the Prims stuff, which is or was proprietary technology, and then I think they started slowly to switch over to using proper meshes.
Yeah, and I just think then they switched over, and then that might have been a good time to start making Second Life things. I don't know, but yeah, I just feel like you never know. Like, any Second Life or there.com or any place could close tomorrow, and it would be nice to think as a creator that you would at least take a skill away from that, right? Like,
yes, that's one of the issues with the proprietary tech, is that you're kind of locked in to the knowledge that you generate whilst you are working in that environment. I mean, the general principles that are of 3D do tend to carry forward into other things, but it does tend to lock the knowledge into a specific expression of 3D that isn't necessarily going to be compatible with anything else.
yeah. Although then on the other hand, Second Life is still around.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's still a bit, there's still quite a few things to sort out. Just looking through my files, there's still quite a few things to sort out and release you know, in terms of like with the couples poses and one or two other things. But aside from that, you know, there's enough information out there now to be able to get most of the basic stuff into IMVU using the FBX.
So is that's going to make a piece of furniture pose?
No, it's just it's what it's doing is it's basically a pose file, but for couples, and the only active element within the scene is the armature that's standing at the grid center. The other one is it's just it's a proxy for the other half of a couples pose, and you just use it as a foil against which the main pose is made. So if you, let's say for the example, she was leaning forward for a kiss, and he would then be used as you could put him in a recoil pose. The only one that would actually get exported is the leaning forward for the kiss, because that's the one that's in the actual active position. So if you then wanted to do his pose, you'd have to you don't flip the avatars around, you just reassign the actions, the animations. So if you have let's call it lean forward for the girl and recoil back for the boy, you basically create two actions in the actions list, and the one that gets exported is the one that's standing over the grid center. So when you do the opposite pose, you just reassign the poses. So
It would be awesome if you could export both of them at once.
Yeah, you can't, because the way FBX works, it uses the object's origin point, which is where the rotate widget currently is now. So what you end up with is two poses positioned as they are on screen, and that's not what you want for couples poses. I mean, what you should have in theory is, so if you imagine he's in his recoil pose, when you export, he would be the one that's at grid 0 and she's the one that's standing out here, because you can only export one pose at a time.
My laptop just stopped charging again. Well, it didn't just stop. It seems to just, I don't know.
Computer says no.
Yeah, it really does. It's down to 10%.
The original Red Dwarf Holly computer saying no.
Yeah. But it just does. It did that to me like at about 12:45 today too, and then it charged back up again, but now it's not charging again.
Sounds like you got a dodgy power connector.
No, I don't. Well, maybe. I guess it could be like right at the source of the thing.
Where the to use technical terms, where the pluggy thing plugs into the back of the boxy thing.
Yeah, like the problem is not with the plug, but with the plug or inhibitor.
Yeah, that's the tech word for it. Yeah.
You might want to plug in your PC. Well, I have, but you are not charging because you're stupid like that. I don't know. IT told me that I need the 180 watt brick.
Oh, right. That could be why. Yeah.
But no, except that I have that. I don't know. Maybe I need the 220 or something. If there were such a thing, I don't know.
What?
It's really...
well, that should be okay. If you have a power brick that's overrated.
Oh, no.
Sorry?
Well, yeah, but I haven't seen a 220. Do they even make a 220?
What brand is it?
Dell?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but it'll automatically cycle down to the appropriate power rating for the machine that you've got. So if you have a 220 and you plug it in and it's only wanting 120 volts or amps or whatever it is, it'll power down to that value. Apparently they're clever that way these days.
Well, I guess we need to figure out. I don't know. I left my laptop with IT, and then they just sent it. It was just back on my desk the next morning with no note or anything.
Yeah, that's IT for you.
I mean, I probably should have gone and found them and said, "Hey, what's up? Let me see."
They probably found dozens of things that you didn't know were wrong with the thing.
Yeah, I think they just put some like monitoring software on there just to see what the heck I'm getting up to that's causing problems. And then they were like, "Here you go, have it back, and next time you complain, we'll see." Oh yeah, you can get one for $30 at Walmart. Except I'm not gonna do that because first of all, I can bug IT, and second of all, it's Walmart. So that's all I have to say about that.
On that note, we should probably end the stream.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe we can stream again later in the week.
Yes.